So Annalise, I'm not gonna lie, I live in Jersey City, and this week I found out that these St. Peter's Peacocks live in Jersey City. Like, I'm shocked. Let's just say it's more lit in Jersey City right now than New York. This year's 15th seeded Cinderella has captivated New Jersey and the country. Coach Holloway is a walking viral soundbite. Their star player, Doug Edert, is a walking meme. So I think I'm diehard Peacocks fan right now, Annalise.
Speaking of Coach Holloway, here's what he had to say about this moment and for the program and the team.
Right now, it's just a breath of fresh air. Like a team is really doing something good in your area. A Cinderella type team, small school like us. You know, the whole state can rally around us. And now it's becoming a national thing. And it's just been a beautiful thing. I think it's big for the school, though, more than anything, for the school and for these guys.
This is an amazing moment for the Peacocks, and for essentially the first time ever, these players can truly cash in on this moment. Doug Edert has his own apparel and a deal with Buffalo Wild Wings, Mackenzie. To think of all the past Cinderellas that could have had the same opportunity, it's crazy.
In fact, the Indiana cheerleader that saved the day last weekend also got an NIL deal with Breaking Tea, so as a fellow Hoosier, I think I have to cop it.
Kenzie, speaking about cheerleaders, I'm actually currently working on a story about the St. Peter's Cheer Squad being sponsored by the streaming system Peacock TV to be sent to the tournament. In a tweet last week, the cheerleaders and dance team tweeted that they wish they could support their basketball team in person. And Peacock TV quote tweeted them and said, "We're gonna make this happen." And now they're going to the Sweet 16. So shout out to NBC. This is really what March Madness is all about.
So we started with 68. We are now down to 16. Joining us to break down the Sweet 16 is our very own college basketball guru, Scott Gleason. So welcome back, Scott. Long time no see.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
So first off, I think the biggest storyline of this tourney by far is the St. Peter's Peacocks. They're just the third 15 seed to reach the second weekend. So Scott, be honest, how far can this team really go?
Well, I think when we look at a Cinderella like this, it's almost expected that they're going to run out of gas. But the thing about the Peacocks is that they have all the ingredients to advance even further. They're going up against a tough Purdue team. It's going to be a really hard matchup. But you know what? So is Kentucky, and so is Murray State. And so the thing I like about this team is that they play excellent locked-in defense. Coach Shaheen Holloway really knows how to inspire this team defensively. You know, he's basically saying that if they don't play defense, they don't play. And then they can go on and do their own thing on offense. And so I think when you look at the team offensively, you've got Daryl Banks III, who's really just an explosive guard. He can slash and get to the rim. And then Doug Edert has been playing as clutch as any player in this NCAA tournament. You know, hitting those big-time shots. He's one of the best free throw shooters in the country. So there are a lot of weapons on this team. And I think as long as they can control the pace and the tempo against the Purdue team that really just has so much size, right? You have to really counter that size with playing poised and, you know, really trying to find, you know, your guards to score with.
After lackluster performance in the ACC title game, I feel like many people were worried about whether or not Duke would be able to rise to the occasion. I think they did put that to bed this past weekend, but looking ahead to Texas Tech, do you think this Duke team can get to the Final Four for Coach K?
Yeah, so I think with this Duke team, you know, one of the things that we saw in that Michigan State game is they finally discovered their identity. And I thought we were really seeing Duke start to find that right at the end of late February. But then they had that game against North Carolina, Coach K's final game at Cameron Indoor Stadium. They didn't play well, and they really just got that knockout punch. They didn't have a counter punch at all. They played terrible in the ACC tournament. Those last 5 minutes against Michigan State. That's where we saw Duke really start to come into their own. Paolo Banchero was really going aggressive and being assertive. We hadn't seen that type of heart and that type of fire. And so that was excellent. And then I think the biggest thing that Coach K did, and he's really smart about this from a psychological perspective, is he started Jeremy Roach. And so now you have a point guard who's playing with a lot of confidence. And we saw that he had a big-time three. He was hitting clutch baskets. So Duke really is starting to come into their own, and it has so much to do with Mike Krzyzewski making the right move.
We saw Baylor go down. Gonzaga and Arizona had real scares in the first weekend. Kansas, not so much. But which one seeds are on upset alert in the Sweet 16?
Gonzaga, to me, is really susceptible to lose, and so is Arizona. I think TCU was a really hard matchup for Arizona, and so we can start to see as they start to get healthier, that they're going to be explosive and they can get all the way to the Final Four. But with Gonzaga, I think, they're really just going to ride and die with Drew Timme. Because if Timme doesn't go in there and just play, some of the best basketball of his career, they don't beat Memphis, right? They're down 10. And Timme was the one that rallied this team. He's the backbone of the team. He's really just like the motivational force for that group. So if he's not playing well, who else is going to step up? To me, it's not Chet Holmgren. And to me, you really have to have some guy in Gonzaga who's going to really spearhead them outside of Drew Timme. So I see Gonzaga being poised to lose, and Arizona is also susceptible.
All right, Scott, we asked you ahead of the tourney your Final Four predictions. UCLA, Duke, and Kansas survived. Can't say the same about Tennessee. I will give you a mulligan there. So what's your prediction for who makes it to NOLA now?
Yeah, I'll take, 3 out of 4 still standing. That'll work for me. My prediction is going to stay the way that it was originally, which is that UCLA, to me, can cut down the nets. And the reason I say that is when you have experience, Final Four experience, remember this entire group was here last year, almost took out that nearly undefeated Gonzaga team. I think it's just like the ultimate X factor. And Coach Mick Cronin knows how to get this team going. Defensively, whenever you look at a team, you're saying like, how good can they do in the tournament? Of course, you can have a team get hot offensively, but what's one thing to take in the bank? It really is defense. And so I think that's one thing that UCLA does. I see them, if they get past North Carolina, going all the way to the Final Four and winning.
Hey sports fans, if you want to watch more sports seriously, be sure to check out these clips right here. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all the great content from us here at USA Today Sports.